Superb guys, now you have completed variables concept. Now over here I would like to add some more points so that you are concerned about this when you are doing the programming. Okay, so that whenever you are getting the error, you will get to understand why the error has come and you will be able to fix it also. Okay, so let us not have the conflicts and let us think about these points and conclude the session on variables. Okay, now first of all I would like to talk about the instance variables. Okay, now when I am saying instance variables, in these instance variables I have first point as it can't be accessed from the static area. What does that mean? So let me show it to you via program. What does that mean? Now the instance variables cannot be accessed via any static area. So this is the instance variable and here I would go, this is an instance variable. Okay, now say for example instead of this what I would do is I'll create one class and here that class is, I'll say that instance, I'll just write instance. Okay, now that's it, this is main method. I would like to have that, and inside this I am just saying that int x is equal to 20. That's it. Now over here see this block is known as what? Method block. Okay, and this block is also nothing but what type of method it is? Static. So what type of block it becomes? Static block, context of a method, a block of a method. Okay, and this method is also static. But what type of variable is this? This is instance variable. So let's have a look. What type of variable is this? This is instance variable. Okay, now say for example if you would like to print, say for example if you would like to print value of x over here, correct? So that's plus and I'm just putting plus x. Okay, you see I'm getting one type of error. What does that error means? Here it is saying that surround with try catch change x to static, okay, or create new instance for object. Okay, you need to create an object. Okay boss, it is telling that cannot make a static reference to the non-static field x. Okay, the static reference, you do not have any static reference to the non-static field, that is x. So whenever you are trying to access the instance variables inside the static block or inside the static area, what you need to do is you need to create an object of the class. So your object would be created by the name of the class instance I is equal to new instance yep, yeah. So this object has been created. Now what is this object? I. Okay, now if I do I dot x, if I'm doing I dot x, see I don't have any problem. I'm able to execute it as simple as that. This also shows. So how do I execute? F11, I'll just save it, run as Java application. Here it is, value of x is 20. Now this is what I wanted to say. Our first point is clear over here, that it cannot be accessed from static area. The instance variables cannot be accessed from the static area. Plus one more thing, let me show it to you. Say for example if you have some values which you have already seen, name and int roll number. Okay, if you have not done the initialization, okay, same thing over here also. Say inside this I would like to call public void m1 method is there inside this I would like to call this method. Okay, I would like to print the name and roll number. Okay, now you have only seen that the static variable, only for the static variable JVM provides the value, but it is not only for the static variables but also for the instance variable value is also provided. By whom? By JVM. Okay, roll number is okay, this is there. Let's have a look. I need to call this m1 method inside this. Okay, how do I call m1 method over here? If I have to call m1 method, I'll have to take the reference from this I, that is I dot m1 method. This is how we call, correct? Now if I want this to get executed, you'll get to see that the value of name is null because the data type is string, so the default value of string is nothing but null. The value of roll number is 0 because the default value for integer type of number is 0. Okay, got it? Now one thing you have seen that I have accessed the variable x also over here from the static context. But what happens if I'm just trying to print variable or variable x from non-static context? Let me take this, copy this line, paste it over here, and instead of getting it from I can get it directly. Okay, when it is non-static context, when it is non-static method, inside the non-static method, whatever the non-static variable you are trying to call, that variable also you can call without any hesitation, because anyhow you are going to call this method via object only. Okay, because this is also non-static method only, and this will be loaded to the object, and inside the object only, from the object only, you will have to call this method. Okay, you are calling it also over here, correct? So that's why first it will get printed, after that this will get executed, and inside this you have not called the x variable via I, but you have called m1 method only via reference variable I. Okay, so either you call this via reference variable or by this, both are same only, one or the other is getting called by object. Okay, so let's have a look. We will get that x value is printing twice. Here it is. Now this is called from m1 method, and this is from directly from the static area, and these all are the default values for instance variable. Okay, is this point clear, guys? Now over here we see that our points related to static variable are cleared. Now instance variables are cleared. Okay, now let us understand the points related to static variables. Okay, now here it is pretty simple that whenever it is static variable, it can be accessed from both instance and static area. Instance method means non-static method. Okay, so static variables can be accessed in both non-static and static areas also. Say for example over here only, inside this only, if I am just providing static string school. Okay, static string school is equal to DAV. Okay, just like that. Okay, now this is school. If you want to have a print over here, you can do it inside the static context. You can directly call static variable also, and if you want to print it inside non-static method also you can print it without any hesitation because it is readily available. No worries in that. Okay. Fine. Let's run this. Hola. See, you are able to see that the values that are getting printed over here, this is getting printed that the school value is DAV. Over here you are able to print it from the non-static method also, and you are also able to print it from the static method also. Clear guys? This is very easy and this will help you out a lot because these all are the minute things with the help of which you will gain extra confidence. Okay, now the most confusing part that you could have is this one. I have put star mark over here, and you can understand why. I have written that you can also access static variables. You can also access static variables via objects. But I have never discussed this before. I told that initially when we were understanding instance variable that whenever it is instance variable, all the non-static content only get loaded to the object. Okay, whether it is non-static method or non-static variable, all of these things which are not attached with the static keyword, they only get attached, they only get added to the object. But I'm saying that you can also access static variables via objects. Boss, in the object static content is not there only, how can I access static variables? That's a question. So let's have a look if I am able to do that. Let's have a look. Say I would like to get this school variable, school over here or here inside static area only via I dot school. Okay, I dot school. I'm trying to get this school, I'm trying to get this variable via object. What type of variable is this? This is static variable. And what type of variable is this? This is reference variable. Okay, so this is this. I'm getting message also in terms of yellow color it is getting highlighted, and what it is saying, the static field instance school should be accessed in a static way. Okay, means whatever thing I'm trying to do, okay, it is not as per the standards, but it is allowed. Okay, you'll be able to access the static variable also via objects. Let's have a print as of now. Value of static variable school via object. Okay, you wanna have a look? Let's have a look. Here it is DAV. You are able to access it. But boss, the problem over here is you told that in the object the static contents are not getting loaded only. How come if the content is not getting loaded, we are able to access it? How come it is possible? So it is possible because the system knows. The system knows that you are trying to call static variable from the object, but whenever it is going to call, it will not make a call to the object, it will make a call directly to the dot class file because it knows that this is static method, this is static variable. Okay, so whenever it is static variable can only be accessed from the dot class file. Okay, because those are file type variables. Okay, only one copy will be there of these variables, and those copy will be there inside the dot class file only. Okay, so even though if you are using this variable name reference variable dot the name the static variable, okay, even though if you are trying to access the static variable via objects, still what will happen that the call would be made directly to the dot class file. It will not be made via objects. It will never be made via objects, because via objects what will be there inside the object? A static content is not there only, correct? So directly the call is getting made to the dot class file. Okay, So we are getting the error also over here. What it is saying that please try to reference the static field in a static way. Okay, so that's good point also. We should adhere to the standards of coding. Okay, so we have understood this part as well, that the static variables can also be accessed via objects, but it is not recommended. Okay, it is not recommended. Got it? Now let's come down to a point wherein we will try to close as of now, like with the local variables and their differences. Now let's have a one type of a method. I'll go to local variables section. Inside this, say operators is a method. Okay, now over here we have two types of method. We have two types of method. That is what we have created: add method and subtract method. Okay, let me create one more method, that is public. I'll just put it as, whether it is public or static, it doesn't matter. I'll just put it as public static void m1 is the method. Okay, inside this m1, this is known as method signature. Inside this, like inside the main method also, some argument is there. Okay, some argument is there, means some variable is there. So I'll just declare some variable over here also. Okay, you inside these variable, inside this method signature, this is known as method signature. Along with that, if you want to have certain variable declaration, you can do inside the for these variables as an argument. So how you can do, say for example, if you are writing int I, okay, and you would like to print that value. Okay, you would like to write that value of I from m1 method plus I. Okay, what happens that if you are declaring any variable along with the method signature, that is known as argument. And this variable that you have declared, this becomes local variable. Okay, and it becomes your responsibility. Let me comment these two parts, and I only want to call m1 method. Now how will you initialize that m1 method? That's the question, right? That's the question, boss. You have done the initialization, but you don't know how to do you have done the declaration, okay, but you don't know how to do the initialization. If the initialization is not done, that too it is local variable, and directly after that you have started utilizing it, you will definitely get error. Okay, so here in the method call, this is method call. Okay, this is how we are calling the method. This is method call. In the method, you need to provide the value based on the data type. Say for example, you are providing 500 or 400. Okay, say 500 you are providing. Now this method call will go and get attached with the method body, and this value from here, it will go and it will initialize this variable I. Okay, and since I has become local variable and the accessibility of I is inside this block only, this I, once it has been initialized, after that you have written the statement to print it. So let's have a run and let's have a check what value it prints. This is what it is printing. Okay, so the value that you are providing, it is known as parameter to the argumented method m1. Okay, got it? So the value will come from here and it will go and it will settle down over here. Means the value that is coming from here, it will go and it will initialize this variable, and this variable will be initialized for the temporary use of m1 method. Got it? Now this is first point of local variable that we have discussed. That's done. So we are done with this. Now variables declared inside blocks are always local, and hence scope of the blocks are also limited. Now what I'm talking over here is, say for example, you might not be knowing what is for loop, okay, but let me give you an example of for loop. We will discuss later for loop in great detail. You will never forget that. But as of now, let me use some type of for loop to just to explain it to you. Okay, let me create one simple example. I'll just create one class. I'll just write it as variable inside block. This is my class, variable inside block. In Pascal case I have written, Pascal case means whatever the word I have attached, initial character of each word is capital letter, that is known as Pascal case, Pascal, Pascal case. Okay, got it? So let's write inside the main method only. Inside the main method I have int x is equal to 1. Okay, int x is equal to 1 or 10. Fine. Now along with that what I'm trying to do is I'm just writing for loop. Okay, don't worry what is for loop. I'm just writing for loop int j equals to 20 or int j equals to 0. Okay, and I'll just write j is less than 2. Okay, and j plus plus. Don't worry, everything will become handy to you, and you will be able to understand for loop later in this course to its depth. The advanced for loop also you will learn. Okay, now over here you just have a look. Now this is what this is known as initialization, this is condition, and this is post increment. If you want to do single thing multiple times, or if you want to have a cyclic rotation, or if you want to have an iteration of the same thing multiple times, okay, then at that point of time we use for loop. As of now, just think that inside main method I have declared one variable as x. It's a local variable, and I also have a variable as j. Okay, now here inside this for loop, if you would like to access this variable x, you will be able to access. See, system.out.println value of x is plus x. Okay, so it will print 2 times. So it will print 2 times. Why it will print 2 times? I'll just explain it to you. See, value of x is 10, value of x is 10. Why it is printing 10? The first number iteration means one cycle movement it will start, and the first cycle number is 0, and it will go inside this and it will print it. Okay, because it is getting the value from here. In the second time it will go and again it will check that the value will be incremented by 1. Okay, so j plus plus, the value will be incremented by 1. So 0 plus 1 is what? 1. Is 1 less than 2? Definitely it is less than 2. Okay, so again it will come inside this, again it will print it again. Now when it will go back, it will go and check, it will do an increment. So 1 plus 1, j plus plus means plus 1. Okay, j plus plus means plus 1. Whenever it is plus plus means plus 1. Okay, so 1 was already there, now it has become 2. Now j plus 1 is nothing but 1 plus 1 is nothing but 2. So 2 is less than 2? No, it is equals to 2. Okay, so the loop is breaking over here, that's why it has come out. Now after this block, guys, this is the block of for loop. Okay, after this block, if I would like to print value of x is plus x, okay, and if you would like to print value of j is j, but you are getting error over here, guys. What is the what is the situation over here? It is, the situation is the the variable that you have assigned over here, that has become local to this block, and the scope of this variable is not outside this block. Okay, that's why you are getting error. Okay, I'll just write this point over here. That is, scope of variable j is not outside the for loop. Okay, for loop, it is not outside the for loop. Let's have a look. Have you understood this part? Now, variables declared inside the blocks are always local, and hence scope is also limited. Okay, got it? This much point we have got it. Cool. Let me create another class for local variables, that is modifiers. Okay, so let's have a look at what all modifiers or access specifiers are allowed for local variables. Say I have int a equals to 10. Okay, if you do not provide anything, it is default. The accessibility is default, and the accessibility is inside the block only, so why to be bothered? If you want to provide public, it is giving error. 20, 30, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, say this variable is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, this is E, and this is F. Okay, now here it is, I'm just saying that it is private, and here it is not private, here public, private, protected. Okay, public, private, protected. I'll just say it as transient. Okay, these all are known as access specifiers, guys, don't worry. Volatile. Okay, and being an SDET, software development engineer in test, or an automation test engineer, don't worry, these all things are not required. I mean, transient and volatile are not required. Volatile. Okay, and you would like to check with static whether static is allowed for local variables or not. Yes, it's not allowed. Let's check one more thing, which is final. Okay, let's see, final is allowed or not. Only final is allowed, guys. Only final. Only final modifier is allowed for local variable. Okay, rest everything is not allowed. Nothing is allowed for this. Only what? Only final keyword is allowed. You know what is final? Let me first comment all of this part. Okay, now let me tell you, say for example, this is class. Okay, you are putting static pi value, pi equals to 3.147, right? Now later on, int pi, so not int, it will be float, and wherever it is float, we put f at the last, correct? Or else you need to declare it as double. Now what I'm saying, that whenever you want to do one round of area calculation, like public static void area of a circle. Okay, area of circle. How do you create area of circle? that is pi r square. So you should also have static int r means radius equals to 10. Okay, that's it. So pi r square, so pi into r into r. Okay, that's it. Whatever the value is coming, you need to store it. So how would you store? Inside whatever the value is coming, it will be float only, so you should have float result equals to this. So you want to print it, definitely you want to print, and you want to see like what is the value inside it. Okay, area of a circle is plus result. Okay, definitely you need not to put f over here because already inside pi f is already there. So that's why when you are doing pi into r, okay, pi multiplied by r, okay, pi r square, that will give you the result of the area of a circle. So let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look, and let's have a call of this inside this main method. Okay, then only you will be able to see that the method is getting executed, otherwise it will not get executed. Okay, so the area of circle is nothing but 314.7 some unit. Okay, that's it. Now say for example over here you are saying that static you are saying that pi equals to 41424. okay, after that if you are doing the if you are doing the mathematics or arithmetic operation for getting the area of the circle, then you will get another value. See, 42400. So what happened? S.S. Ramanujan said that the pi value, he got the pi value till 2 lakh precision. Okay, till 2 lakhs. After dot he went to till 2 lakh values, but he never found the he was never able to find the end. Then that is why we say that it is never ending number. Till date we have not found the end. So but if you are changing the value, if you are changing the value, the area is coming as wrong. Wherever the pi value will be used, it will come as wrong. So we need to create a hand lock situation so that this value can never be reinitialized. I don't want this value, I don't want any new value to be initialized for this pi. So I'll declare it as final. That's it. No need to do anything extra. See, now I'm getting error over here. What is the error? Remove final from modifier to pi, or here you see the final field modifier, the final field modifiers pi cannot be assigned. Getting? So this I am getting error. Okay, that is why only with local variables only final is allowed, static is not allowed. Okay, if it is static, then it will go and sit in some or the other block only. What happens over here is, now last concluding point, see, whatever the static variables will be there. Okay, static variables are there, whatever the static variables are there, and non-static are there. Okay, where they will go? Actually in the memory, whenever the execution is going on, this heap memory will be created. This is known as heap memory. Okay, inside this heap memory it will be divided into two parts. The below part would be known as non-static area, another one would be known as static area or method area. Okay, all the static content will come over here. Okay, and all the non-static content in terms of objects will come over here in the non-static area. Okay, we will discuss this in the execution sequence and you'll have a great idea about it. Don't worry, everything is going to be very much fine. Okay, now whatever the variables and whatever the methods are there, okay, those go and sit over here. That's why I'm saying that for local variables, since local variables can be inside the static methods also and non-static methods also, so it depends like where they want to go. Okay, so when we are concluding our part, let us understand the fact right now. Now when I say type of variables, how many type of variables are there? There are two types of variables. Okay, the classification is based on declaration, position of declaration, position of declaration. Okay, and another one is based on type of value, based on type of a value. Okay, now based on declaration we have seen what two things are there. Okay, we have a local variable and we have a global variable. Okay, and based on type of value we have two types. We have primitive type variables, okay, and we have reference type variable. Okay, got it. Now these primitive type variables can also be local and global, and reference type variable also can be local and global. Inside global, what all things you have seen? Static variable and instance variable. So primitive means whatever int x is equal to 20 is there, these all are these all are primitive types. And whatever the object related things like student s is equal to new student. Okay, this is nothing but reference variable. Whether you want to keep it globally or locally, it is fine, no worries. Reference variable can also be local variable and global variable. Okay, now primitive variable can also be local variable and global variable. Is it fine? Now let's do the conclusion part. Now these all are the type of variables. Let's do the differentiation and understand what we are trying to achieve. Now whenever it is local variable, guys, whenever it is local variable, let's do a local variable and global variable post-mortem. Whenever it is local variable, it exists inside a method, and global variable, it exists within the class outside a method or a constructor or a block. Okay, now local variable is the scope is within the method and we cannot access it outside a method. Now for global variable is the scope is within the class and outside the class also. Got it? Now whenever it is local variable, no default values will be provided for the variable by JVM because they are for the temporary purpose. Now for global variables, default value exists according to the data types and it is provided by JVM. Last point is initialization of variable is must for local variables and initialization of global variable is not necessary. JVM actually provides the data. Okay, this is pretty much about this, guys. This is pretty much about the variables concept. I hope you have gained a lot of knowledge over here. It has went a little long, but this will make your life very easy. Whenever you are getting the red liners, that is the errors, you'll be able to solve your problems then and there itself. You'll be able to understand your problems. Okay, so wish you the best. Have a great day. Bye bye. We'll meet up in the next topic.